Hello everyone, welcome back to Believers IAS Academy, Bengaluru. This is topic of the day. In today's topic, we'll be discussing a very disheartening and an unfortunate event that happened recently in Tamil Nadu. That is Stampede and the subsequent death of 30 plus people in Vijay, an actor and turned politician's political rally. We'll discuss what happened and why is India so prone to stampedes and how do you overcome this? Or is it only to India or other countries experience stampedes? So, we'll discuss everything in today's video. So, what happened in Karur Valley? Vijay's Karur Valley. If you see the newspapers, if you see the headlines, every newspaper is covering Vijay's rally, stampede updates, Vijay pledges rupees 20 lakh to families of those who have suffered. Who is Justice Sarana Jagadishan appointed to probe actor Vijay's rally? 10 minors among victims of Stampede at Vijay's rally engaged was 2 years old. How unfortunate. Vijay rally Stampede live. PM Modi announces 2 lakh ex gratia for families. Vijay Karur Lam death count raises to 40 people. TVK moves to Madras High Court seeking removal of Vijay. All these things. See, an event has happened, an unfortunate event which resulted in death of 40 people. Okay, but this has been turned into some sort of political motive. We will not go into this political issue or discourse, but we will just keep it to the discussion of stampedes. So, on September 27, 2025, a political rally by actor politician Vijay's party, that is Tamilaga Vettri Kazhagam, Tamilaga Vettri Kazhagam at Velusoparam, Velusammepuram on the Karur Erode Highway, that is Tamil Nadu, turned tragic. And the casualties were at least 39, and the latest is at least 40 plus people have died and 83 plus injured. So, what is the trigger? What is the primary contributing factor in this year? Is like in this particular event. First is overcrowding. Attendance greatly exceeded estimates. Many supporters gathered hours in advance, and then delay in arrival of Vijay. About 6 hours delay. Obviously, the crowd is going to get agitated, and there will be more crowd coming together. Then, which caused restlessness, swelling of crowd under adverse conditions. Next, lack of basic amenities. No water, no shade, no food, and also exposure under the heat. People fainting from dehydration as well as heat exhaustion. These are all the issues that are already present even before the arrival of Vijay. And then poor crowd control and infrastructure. Blocked or insufficient exits or barricades, volunteers or police unable to manage surges, no buffer zones near stage, and ambulances couldn't reach easily. Okay, so if you see these reasons are basically there whenever an event such as Stampede happens in India. Take for the case of RCB victory celebrations in Bengaluru. What happened? So there were no proper casual like sorry, there were no pop like so there was no proper what do you say permission taken from the government by these RCB event managers. There was no proper coordination from the police or the RCB management, which led to ultimate death of 30 people. Okay, all the sportsmen who died, and also similar to another stampede which happened in Kumbh Mela, Maha Kumbh Mela. Okay, there also more than 20 people died, and another was in Tirupati Tirumala Venkateswara temple. So here also there were 20 people died, and also there was Hathras famous. The most recent famous was Hathras, which resulted in more than 60 people dead, and also during the arrival of sorry during the premiere of Pushpa 2 movie, which was also a result of all these things. So these, if you see the just in the last 1 to 2 years, there have been so many events which led to stampede, which led to death of so many people. So why is it so? So other than that, we'll also discuss recent stampedes in India and abroad. First is 2025 Prayag Kumbh Mela in Prayagraj, January 29, which resulted in more than many deaths and injuries. And the main causes were a crush near the river confluence where devotees surged for holy dip, reported broken barriers, mismanagement, rushed movement, and many deaths and injuries also happened there. And New Delhi railway station crash in New Delhi, India, February 2025, just this year only. Crowd crush on the footbridge above platform 14 and 15. Train delays, overcrowding, slippage, and triggered pile-up, and deaths and injuries reported in New Delhi as well. And the Sri Lahari Zotra Shirgaon in Goa. Again, May 2025. So, sloped pathway, overcrowded paths, a person falling triggered chain reaction, poor crowd control measures, etc. And then If you see, this is only limited to India. It is not so. It is also found in rest of the world as well. So, for example, Nzérékoré Football Stadium in Guinea, December 1, 2024. Fans rushing, clashes at the stadium, exits are narrow closed, an inability to calm the crowd. Many people killed in this particular event. And Sanaa crowd crush in Yemen. Sanaa, Yemen, crowd gathered for arms distribution, panic triggered for gunfire and explosion, lack of controlled entry or exit, many killed. It is not only, you can think, okay, these Yemen, Nigeria, or this Guinea are developing countries. India is also developing countries. So is it common to developing countries? Not really. These are also seen in many countries such as South Korea. One of the worst one of the worst stampede event happened in South Korea during 2023 Halloween celebration. More than 300 plus people died in this particular event. And also, this also happened in USA, Texas, where people gathered for a Christmas event, which resulted in more than 60 plus deaths. So this also happens in Saudi Arabia. In Saudi Arabia, the Hajj celebration, more than 900 people have died in the last 1 decade. So these things are not common to India only, but they are very frequent in India recently. So we'll discuss why is it happening in India. First, will discuss the causes behind any kind of stampedes. This can be the reason for all kinds of stampedes all over the world as well as India. First is why stampedes happen in India. Overcrowding at public events, that is temples, festivals, rallies, religious yatras, and even cricket celebrations often draw massive crowds beyond the safe limits. So there is no dearth of population in India. So whenever there is a celebration or event, it obviously attracts lots of crowds around the world, around the India, and even in the world as well. And then poor crowd management, lack of barricades, uneven entry or exit routes, insufficient police deployment, and failure to anticipate the turnout as well. Next is trigger moments. So not all the crowd or not all the big events turn into stampedes. There will be some trigger moment which turns a normal event into a stampede, causes hazards. What is a trigger event? That is a fall, that someone has fallen down or a ceiling has fallen down, and another rumor like free passes at RCB's victory parade, and then object dropping, that is head load incident at the Delhi station, and then a sudden push can spark panic. So this panic is one of the major causes or reason behind stampedes. Okay, because it is not every day that stampedes you are going to witness. In many of the areas around the world, around India, there will be lots of people gathering, but not all the events turn into stampedes. There are very few events who turn into stampedes, mainly because of the panic. That panic is caused by these trigger moments. Next, cultural factors. In India, personal space is negotiable, leading to tightly packed gatherings. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಓಕೆ, ಥೋಡಾ ಸೈಡ್ ದೇ ದೋ, ಥೋಡಾ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಕರ್ ಲೋ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಕಾಮನ್ condition all over India. So this no meaning for personal space results in more people gathering in a particular region or particular area. Faith-driven urgency, like rushing for a holy trip, increases pressures on the crowd as well. These are some issues specific to India. Then delayed responses. Emergency teams often struggle to reach victims quickly and turning small crushes into deadly ones. Okay, these are some of the reasons which lead to stampedes. Okay, public gatherings turned into hazards. And some other reasons which can be said here is the infrastructure issues. What do you mean by infrastructure issues? Hard barricades. Okay, hard barricades used in gatherings. If there is a soft barricade or which can be moved, it can be pushed away, but if it is hard barricade like a wall, it is very difficult to push away. And other thing is, the major factor behind stampede is persons per square meter. Per square meter, there is a famous scientist who studied these stampedes. I'm not able to, so her name starts with Pearl. She's a Pearl Stacy or someone from America who studied about the stampedes. According to her, the gravity of the stampede is decided by persons per square kilometer. She says the number of people in a square meters distance or square meters area shows the gravity of the situation. If there are regularly 5 to 7 people in a particular square meter area, it will not lead to stampede. It will not lead to stampede. According to her, if there are more than 10 people to 15 people per square kilometer, it will lead to stampede, but it will not lead to deaths. But if it is increasing 30 people per square meters, obviously it will lead to death as well. So she says that persons per square meter, that is the density of the people in a particular area decides or dictates the intensity or the gravity of stampedes. Okay, So these are some of the issues apart from the ones mentioned in this particular document. Next, the numbers. The numbers in India are very grave. That is 3074 lives have been lost to stampedes between 2000 to 2022. This might have already reached to 4000 plus if we consider 2025 events as well, because just in 2025 alone there have been more than 150 plus deaths because of stampedes. Okay, next, nearly 4000 stampedes incidents in the last 30 years, which will be around 4050 considering 50 events in the 2025 alone. And in 2025 alone, close to 90 deaths already recorded from such events. And if you add this on, if you add this Vijay rally and Pushpa etc etc, it will be more than 100 plus. And then the signs of stampedes. Okay, what is the major signs behind the stampedes? First is main cause of death is, those are all infrastructural, those are external reasons. But what leads to death? The signs of stampedes. Many people die here, either because of health issues or because of other issues, such as main cause of death is compressive asphyxia. Compressive asphyxia, that is chest pressure leading to suffocation. When the chest is pressurized, it will lead to suffocation. You will not be able to breathe. When you are not able to breathe, obviously it will lead to death. Then domino effect, that is one person stumbles and multiples falls trampling. You might have seen this event where you will be using these cards. The cards will be kept in this way. Okay, cards will be kept in this way. Once one card starts to fall down, all the cards start falling down. This is the domino effect. Okay, one card starts falling down, all the cards start falling down. This is the domino effect. This is similar to, or what happens in even human beings as well. One person starts falling down, he grabs and falls down another person. So this domino effect will aggravate the issues, and people in the crowd rely on non-verbal cues. So panic spreads silently but fast. When people are in the crowd, they will not be able to tell what is happening through their mouth, because they will not be able to explain it like properly, because there will be so much of noise around. So as a result, whatever you say, it will not be reaching to other person. So normally what happens is you will use the non-vocabulary, that is you will use the gestures etc, and you start screaming, which sometimes is not helpful in dictating the dictating the uh, instructions. Next, best practices around the world. Okay, so though the events happens all around the world, there are some countries which have figured out a way to avoid these stampedes. Examples where mass gatherings have better managed or improved in avoiding disasters. Hajj pilgrimage, Saudi Arabia. If you see this particular event, at least 717 killed in Saudi Arabia, according to BBC News. At least 900 killed in Saudi Arabia, as per Hajj events. So between, there was in 2014 and in 2016, there were two of the major disasters, that is stampedes, that happened in Saudi Arabia, and there was also an event in 2006 as well. And every year whenever there is a Hajj pilgrimage, there used to be death of people because of stampede. But recently, that is from 2020 onwards, you are hearing lesser and lesser deaths in Hajj pilgrimage. Okay, why? Because of the Saudi Arabia's crowd management. Hajj pilgrimage, Saudi Arabia. Over the years, extensive planning, well-defined routes, crowd management, scheduling, use of audio-visual directives, pilgrim guides, separating flows, crowd monitoring, all these have been implemented by Saudi Arabia. While there have been tragic episodes, continuous improvement of the infrastructure and management has helped reduce this frequency. So, over a period of time, this frequency has reduced in Saudi Arabia. Next, Love Parade in Germany, Duisburg. So, as a case study of failure, but also how lessons from it have informed crowd safety in large festivals globally. So, this was a huge disaster in the throughout the world. In the analysis of Love Parade disasters, recommendations include early warning system for density, avoiding funneling of the people into narrow routes, and distributed entry points. Okay, entry and exit points, and the infrastructure, all these things have been given in Love Parade, post Love Parade disaster. Then smart city initiatives and cloud analysis, that is use of computer vision tools to crowd management or density. Then management movement tracking, example frameworks deployed in Hajj and Masjid al Haram, or experimental setups in large religious festivals to anticipate choke points and crowd turbulence. What are the normal choke points? That is doors or entry or exit points. These are the choke points. So these areas have to be monitored properly with a proper uh, like rehearsal, with a proper coordination between police and the event organizers, with a proper availability of the instruments where you can give information. Then international sports are concerned venues. Stadiums in many countries have strict capacity regulations, emergency exits, fan segregation, crowd flow planning, rehearsed evacuation, very important. This rehearsed evacuation is what helps in actual cases. Normally, most of the times what happens in India or rest of the world is that there will be event organizers. They will organize the events. They will result in crowd management, but they might not have rehearsed what we are going to do whenever there is an unfortunate event happening, such as Stampede. So, security training, all these things are not properly followed in India. For example, after the Kunjurahan Stadium disaster in Indonesia, international bodies have begun emphasizing exit capacity and safety door requirements. Okay, next way forward. What should be the way forward in coming years? One is festival management. That is, India's NDMA, National Disaster Management Authority, has given certain guidelines, such as put out crowd management guidelines, which lay down requirements for big religious, political, cultural gatherings, entry or exit routes, barricading, emergency facilities, first aid coordination among agencies. These, when followed strictly, tend to reduce the risk. Apart from that, you need scientific crowd modeling for rallies, festivals, and stations, mandatory safety audits before the large events, and better training for police and first responders in crowd psychology as well. Okay, next is awareness among the public, that is how to react in the crowd rush, and stronger accountability, learning from mistakes instead of repeating them. So how do you react in a crowd rush? So there was an article which talked that yelling or screaming won't help in certain cases. So following these tips to avoid getting caught in stampede like situations, in case unfortunately you are part of some kind of these events which lead to stampedes. So what are these things you have to be doing? That is, stay upright and avoid falling into the ground. If you fall onto the ground in a moving crowd, try and get up as quickly as possible. Then grab the nearest infrastructure like a railing or a pillar or an iron bench and stay put or climb on it. And then conserve your energy by avoiding struggling against the crowd. Refrain from yelling or screaming as well, because yelling and screaming induces some sort of panic among the people, which will lead to negative consequences. Then use non-verbal communication methods. Use sign languages, pointing or waving, or making eye contact to interact with the nearby, because you will not be able to explain them because of the crowd, because of the noise around you. And then boxer position, very important. Keep your hands close to your chest. It is like a boxer position, in a guard position, similar to the boxer stance, to maintain mobility and protect your vital organs. As I told you, asphyxia. What happens in asphyxia? In asphyxia, it results in suffocation of the chest. When the chest is suffocated, it will lead to death because of lack of breath. So in order to avoid that, you have to keep your hand like this. And then if you think you are about to faint, ask the crowd or your near ones to crowd surf you out. That is, you can be lifted upon and surfed out of crowd. And then if someone is nearby needs assistance, offer your hand to help them keep upright. Forming a human chain or ring is also very important. Then don't wear long dowry or flowery clothes or jewelries that can get caught or tangled and cause injuries. And also pay attention to the crowd's behavior and dynamics. Be thoroughly prepared for all these events. And should you get stuck up in a surge, keep your feet moving all the time. Do not get stuck anywhere. So, unfortunately, I don't wish upon you to end up in any kind of stampedes. But unfortunately, if you are part of some kind of stampedes, these are the things you have to keep in mind. So, summary is stampedes like that one at Vijay rallies are tragic but preventable. They result from a combination of crowd behavior, infrastructural gaps, lack of planning, and poor coordination. So, to avoid recurrence, what's needed is systematic change. That is, stricter enforcement of safety norms, better infrastructure, disciplined crowd control, and accountability for those who organize such large events. So, recently, the Karnataka government has brought an act post this RCB stampede. Karnataka government has brought an act, that is Karnataka Crowd Management Bill. Currently, it is a bill which will be converted into act very soon. So, Karnataka Crowd Safety or Crowd Management Bill will serve as a way forward for rest of the states. This can be a central law brought by the government of India to address all kind of stampede events throughout the India. So, this is the current issue of the day. So, this is the current topic for the day. If you like the video, then please hit the like button, comment on it, and also share your opinions. Be an opinionated person, because UPSC respects people of opinions. With this, I will end the video. Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka.